For the first time, North Korea has revealed a nuclear-powered submarine, raising alarms across the world. But is this truly a game-changing weapon that could shift global power, or is Kim Jong-un exaggerating his military strength to scare his rivals? This and many more we will explore in today's Flash News. Good afternoon and welcome. I am Tabitha Ako. Let's begin. North Korea has publicly revealed what it claims to be its first nuclear-powered submarine, an act that could shift the balance of power in the region and heighten tensions with the U.S. and South Korea. As the world grapples with the implications of Pyongyang's growing military capabilities, is this a breakthrough in North Korea's weapons program or a strategic bluff aimed at gaining leverage in future negotiations? The state media on Saturday released images of what it called a nuclear-powered strategic guided missile submarine, showcasing leader Kim Jong-un inspecting the vessel at key shipyards responsible for warship production. The Korean Central News Agency did not provide specific details about the submarine's capabilities, but confirmed that Kim was briefed on its construction. It is believed that submarine could be between 6,000 and 7,000 tons and capable of carrying approximately 10 missiles. Moon Kyun-sing, a South Korean submarine expert, noted that the term strategic guided missiles strongly suggests the vessel will be equipped with nuclear-capable weapons. It would be absolutely threatening to us and the U.S., Moon warned. Meanwhile, this nuclear-powered submarine has long been part of Kim Jong-un's ambitious military roadmap. During a major political conference in 2021, he vowed to develop advanced weaponry, including solid-fueled intercontinental ballistic missiles, hypersonic weapons, spy satellites, and multi-warhead missiles. North Korea has since carried out numerous tests to turn these ambitions into reality. Well, if fully operational, a nuclear-powered submarine would significantly enhance North Korea's second strike capability, making it more harder for enemies to detect it and neutralize its missile launches. Unlike conventional diesel-powered submarines, which must surface frequently, a nuclear-powered vessel can remain submerged for extended periods, allowing for stealthier, and more unpredictable attacks. However, analysts remain quite skeptical about North Korea's ability to build and maintain such advanced technology. The country is under heavy international sanctions and suffers from severe economic difficulties, raising doubts about where it is sourcing the necessary materials and expertise. One of the most pressing concerns is whether North Korea has received external assistance, particularly from Russia. Moon suggests that Pyongyang may have obtained Russian technology to build a nuclear reactor for the submarine in exchange for supplying Moscow with conventional weapons and possibly even troops to support Russia's war in Ukraine. While there is no direct confirmation of such a deal, the growing military ties between North Korea and Russia have raised alarms in Washington and Seoul. If true, this could mark a dangerous shift in global security dynamics, as it would indicate a deepening alliance between two nuclear-armed states with adversarial effect toward the West. Despite North Korea's claims, doubts persist. The country has one of the largest submarine fleets in the world, with an estimated 70 to 90 diesel-powered submarines. However, most of them are outdated and only capable of launching torpedoes and mines, not missiles. In 2023, North Korea claimed to have launched its first tactical nuclear attack submarine, but experts dismissed it as likely being a modified diesel-powered vessel that had first been revealed in 2019. There has been no independent confirmation that the submarine was ever deployed. Since 2016, North Korea has conducted multiple underwater missile tests, but these were all launched from a single 2,000-ton class submarine equipped with just one launch tube. Many experts believe the submarine is merely a test platform rather than an operational asset. Well, the unveiling of the submarine comes at a strategically chosen moment. The US and South Korea are set to begin their annual joint military exercise on Monday, an event that North Korea frequently condemns as a rehearsal for invasion. By showcasing its military advancements, Pyongyang is likely attempting to send a strong warning to US and Seoul. Meanwhile, Kim Jong-un, during his recent visit to shipyards, reiterated his goal of modernizing both water surface and underwater warships. He emphasized the need for incomparably overwhelming warships to counter what he described as the inveterate gunboat diplomacy of the hostile forces, according to KCNA. North Korea's latest revelation raises urgent questions about regional security. If the submarine is genuinely nuclear-powered, it marks a significant step in Pyongyang's military expansion and poses a direct threat to US and South Korea interests. But, however, this is another exaggerated claim meant to project strength. It underscores Kim's strategy of using military posturing to extract concessions in future negotiations. Well, with the US and its allies closely monitoring development, the world now waits to see whether North Korea will back its words with action, or if the submarine will remain just another piece in Pyongyang's long history of strategic deception. Moving forward, in a stunning political shift, former central bank banker Carney has won the leadership of Canada's ruling Liberal Party, securing an overwhelming 86% of votes to replace Justin Trudeau as Prime Minister. His victory marks a historic moment, the first time an outsider with no traditional political background has risen to lead Canada. But as the nation grapples with economic uncertainty and rising tension with the United States under President Donald Trump, is Carney the stabilizing force Canada needs, or is he stepping into a political battlefield he isn't prepared for? His emergence as the Prime Minister faces a daunting task as he assumes the leadership at a time of deep political and economic turmoil. Canada is caught in a trade war with the US, triggered by Trump's punishing tariffs on Canadian goods, to which Trudeau responded with $30 billion in retaliatory measures. The strained relationship between these two nations, once among the strongest alliances in the world, has fueled economic anxiety across Canada, with businesses and workers bracing for further instability. Carney, in a remark, expresses his sore displeasure on President Trump's trade moves. Let's take a look.
My government will put into action our plan to build a stronger economy, to create new trading relationships with reliable trading partners. There's someone who's trying to do the opposite. There's someone who's trying to weaken our economy. Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, as we know, has put, as the Prime Minister just said, unjustified tariffs on what we build, on what we sell, on how we make a living. He's attacking Canadian families, workers, and businesses, and we cannot let him succeed. The Canadian government has rightly retaliated and is rightly retaliating with our own tariffs that will have maximum impact in the United States and minimum impact here in Canada. And my government will keep our tariffs on until the Americans show us respect. The Americans want our resources, our water, our land, our country.
Right on your screen, this is a case where Canada wants to regain their respect, especially with the long-term ally relationship they have built with the US. Yet, Carney's remarks drew loud boos directed at President Trump from the crowd, signaling that U.S.-Canada relations will be a defining issue of his tenure. But given Carney's lack of political experience, can he effectively handle the high-level diplomacy required to counter Trump's aggressive trade policies? Meanwhile, Trudeau's decision to step down in January followed a collapse in his approval ratings, forcing the Liberals into a rapid leadership contest. With the party on the verge of political irrelevance at the start of 2025, Carney's ascent has revitalized its chances, closing the gap with conservative leader Pierre Paul Livre in recent polls. However, Carney's unconventional background presents both opportunities and risks. His experiences as the first person to serve as governor of two G7 central banks, Canada and the UK, gives him credibility on economic issues. But leading a central bank is far different from running a political party or negotiating with world leaders. This won't be business as usual. However, with no parliamentary seat and no prior electoral experience, how can he navigate the complex world of Canadian politics? And can he truly unite a fractured Liberal Party while facing a resurgent Conservative opposition? Beyond Canada's borders, Carney takes office amid a fiercely anti-Trudeau White House, where Trump has openly mocked Canada as a potential 54th state and continues to push for harsher trade penalties. The escalating trade war has already caused job losses and rising prices in key industries, further fueling economic uncertainty. Well, this defiant stance could strengthen Canada's negotiating position or further escalate tensions with its largest trading partner. Meanwhile, at a protest outside Canada's Parliament building in Ottawa, demonstrators directed their anger solely at Trump rather than at domestic political rivals, a rare moment of unity in an otherwise divided electorate. But can Carney transform this momentum from the crowd into a lasting political advantage? Or is there merely a temporary action to external threats? Despite Carney's dramatic entrance, polls indicate that neither the Liberals nor the Conservatives are likely to secure a majority government, setting the stage for a fiercely contested election that must take place by October 28th, though insiders suggest it could come much sooner. Meanwhile, Conservative leader Pierre Paul Livre is already sharpening his attacks, portraying Carney as an out-of-touch elite who lacks real-world political experience. Could that be a stand for him? Wow. The Liberals, in turn, have sought to deliver to Trump's brand of conservatism, setting up what could become one of Canada's most polarized elections in recent history. As Carney prepares to lead Canada into this uncertain future in court, more pressing questions arise. Will his economic expertise translate into effective leadership, or will his lack of political experiences be his undoing? Can he successfully negotiate with Trump? Or will the U.S.-Canada trade war escalate even further? Is Canada witnessing a shift toward nationalism in response to Trump's policies? Or is this simply a short-term political reaction? The stakes couldn't be higher, and the road ahead for Canada's new Prime Minister is anything but certain. In other development, just in, the United States has expressed willingness to explore critical mineral partnership with the Democratic Republic of Congo, according to a State Department statement on Sunday. This follows a proposal from a Congolese senator pitching a potential minerals for security deal, an idea that has stirred debate in both Kinshasa and Washington. But given Congo's political instability and history of foreign exploitation, will this partnership bring economic deal progress, or merely serve as another geopolitical background for global superpowers? Just a question right in my mind. But then the DRC, home to some of the world's largest reserves of cobalt, lithium, and uranium, is embroiled in an escalating conflict with Rwanda-backed M23 rebels, who have seized key strategic territories this year. The potential U.S. partnership comes amid ongoing discussions with Ukraine over a similar critical minerals impact, signaling a broader American strategy to secure essential resources. According to U.S. officials, any agreement must align with America's broader global economic interests, while promoting responsible and transparent investment, a State Department spokesman said. The United States is open to discussing partnership in this sector that are aligned with the Trump administration's America First agenda. Still on, for Kinshasa, the partnership presents an opportunity to diversify economic allies beyond China, which currently dominates Congo's mineral supply chain. Government spokesperson Patrick Muyaya emphasized. However, it's been warned that without strict regulations and enforced ethical labor practices, U.S. companies could fall into the same exploitation patterns that have long plagued Congo's mining industry. Same thing that has been happening in Africa, a sad one at that. Then, can the U.S. establish a model for ethical and sustainable resource extraction in Africa, or will they simply replicate past failures? From a geopolitical standpoint, this move could be seen as a countermeasure against China's economic grip on Africa's mineral wealth. Beijing has invested heavily in Congolese mining, often through state-backed enterprises, while the U.S. lacks state-controlled mining firms. Jason Stearns, a Congo expert, highlighted this challenge, stating that if the Congolese want to make this work, it will probably not be by offering a U.S. company a mining concession. They will have to look at more complicated ways of engaging the U.S. Meanwhile, adding to the complexity, a letter from Congolese Senator Perokanda Kanlambaye addressed to U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio proposed direct U.S. investment in exchange for regional stability assistance. However, officials in Kinshasa distanced themselves from the initiative, suggesting it lacked formal government approval. Despite these uncertainties, Washington has shown growing interest, particularly as U.S. lawmakers considered policies to reduce American dependence on Chinese-controlled supply chains. A planned March meeting between a Congolese delegation and the House Foreign Affairs Committee was unexpectedly cancelled, fueling speculation about whether political roadblocks could stall negotiations. While Congo's leadership appears eager to welcome U.S. investment, practical hurdles remain. The DRC is plagued by political instability, security concerns, and entrenched foreign interest. Unlike China, the U.S. does not operate state-owned mining firms, and private American companies have largely avoided Congo due to high risks and regulatory uncertainty. But then, if Washington is serious about countering China's resource monopoly, it must offer more than just diplomatic engagement, perhaps through direct security support or policy-backed incentives for American firms. With these factors in mind, we believe the U.S. should truly be committed to reshaping Africa's economic landscape rather than a short-lived geopolitical maneuver. Well, bringing you to the climax of today's report. With Congo housing some of the world's most valuable minerals, while the U.S. is exploring a partnership to secure access, this could be a fair economic deal for both nations and another chapter in the global race for Africa's resources, with Africa being home for subtle exploitation. Think about that. Well, until next time, this is where we'll be drawing the curtain on today's Flash News. Remember, we're bringing you untold stories from the home front at the top of the hour, 8 p.m. Until then, do have a pleasant day and stay safe.